नहमदुहु व नसल्ली अला रसूलिहिल करीम अम्मा बाद फ़अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी व यस्सिर ली अमरी वहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली रब्बना ज़िदना इल्मा अल्लाहुम्मा फ़क़्क़िहना फ़िद्दीन. Today inshallah we will be starting from ayat number 163 Surah alBaqarah. The flow of the ayats today is going to be about the introduction of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will show the signs from the universe and how we should ponder on those signs and find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make us realize how even after looking at these signs we are still worshipping or spending more time or giving more attention to the other gods. So how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deserves the worship, and he does not need the worship, but this is what we are supposed to do. And if we don't pay attention to all these signs and the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then we will end up with the punishment. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wa an ilahukum. Ilahkum, your God. Ilahun, the God, wahid, only one. La, not ilaha, God, illa huwa, except for him. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, he is the Rahman, most merciful. He is the Rahim, repeatedly merciful. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that there is only one God, and that is the God for everyone. The reason for revelation for this ayats was when the polytheists came to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and asked him in a very sarcastic way, this God of yours, can you tell us more about him? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed these ayats, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told them that there is this, it's not just about Muslims. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only God for all of you. And then immediately then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. So we can see how approachable Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. Otherwise the thought, for if there is only one God for the entire universe, for all the humans and animals and all the other creatures, if it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, people might be intimidated. People might think that we can never approach that God. We will never be able to talk to him. We'll never be able to make dua. Our wishes will never reach him. And this is what people think. Many people who think that we should go through indirect channels, they just think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we cannot reach him. So we understand over here that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala immediately reminds us that he is a Rahman and he is a Rahim. If you struggle in his way, there is no sin that Allah will not forgive. In the next ayat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us all the signs from the universe. So it does not require any kind of specialized education or any kind of IQ to see all this, because this is all from the universe. For those who cannot see the God, they should ponder in this, and it should be very easy to find God and to be able to understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the only creator, he is the only sustainer, nurturer. Everything is being managed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this could not have been done by anyone other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there are 7 parts to this ayat. Let's go over it and try to ponder a little bit, because there is a hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that those who go through this ayat and just move on without pondering, they are very unfortunate. So inshallah we will try to spend some time on this ayat, but you should also make sure that whenever you're going through the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in any ayat, you should stop and ponder over those. Okay, inna, indeed, fi, in khalq samawati, in the creation of the skies. Khalq, the root is qalam kaf, as samawat, the root is sin mim waw, and it's a plural of sama. So in the creation of the heavens and earth, wal ardi. So that is one. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us that Allah can be found just even if you look at how the skies are created and how the earth is created, how the earth is perfect, its temperature is perfect for people, its shape is so perfect, its movement is so perfect, the rotation gives us day and night, the revolution gives us the different seasons, and our year, and how everything is in a perfect harmony, how everything gives us a system, a discipline, and everyone can predict and plan their life accordingly. And the movement is such that we don't feel any sudden jerks or any problem. We're just able to do things in the very regular way, as if we don't even feel it happen. And there is nothing that is man-made which is moving and we do not feel its movement. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it such that it is a sphere and it does not end. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the gravity in such a way that it is just the perfect amount. It's not so much that we can't lift our foot from the earth, and it's not so less that we can't put our foot on the earth. So it's everything is just perfect, and it shows how perfect our God is. And then the heavens also, how beautifully Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made the canopy, that we are able to see the skies and the clouds and what is happening in this space. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not shown us all the time, because that activity would distract us from what we are doing. That might scare us, that might be intimidating for us. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will show in each of these signs the perfection, the harmony, the beauty, and also how it serves a purpose. For whom? For human beings. So all these, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions all the creations, except over here humans creation is not mentioned. Why? Because we are the superior creation, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made all this so we can spend more time. It can help us in the worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It can help us in being grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It can help us in passing the test that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give us. We are the creatures that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created for the test, to be able to go into Jannah, or if we, because of our free will, choose the hellfire. Let's move on to the next example, the ayat. وَاخْتِلَافِ اللَّيْلِ وَالنَّهَارِ خَلَفَ. وَاخْتِلَاف, the root is khalafa, khalamfa, which means the alternation. So one comes and then the other comes. They're not there all at the same time. Al-layl, night, and an-nahar, the day. How beautiful this alternation is. It gives us a perfect system, a routine in our lives, when to mostly be awake, when to sleep, when to rest, how to contact people across the globe. We know that, okay, night time means night time. And of course, I mean, besides the exceptions, very few exceptions for anything, it just is a general routine for all of us, which helps us living our life properly, and able to be more productive. We're all sleeping almost at the same time. We're all awake and working almost at the same time. The schools, the educational institutes, the jobs, the workplaces, the business hours, these are all happening in our life productively, just because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the blanket of night and gave us the sun, daylight. So we know that this is how things will work. Otherwise, it would be very chaotic. Everyone would be sleeping at their own time. They will be tired at their own time. They'll be awake at their own time. Nobody would be able to sleep because of the constant loudness in the environment. Nobody will be able to work properly if they have to care about people who are sleeping. So it will be all very haphazard. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made this so perfect, harmonious, and beautiful. Then the next is وَالْفُلْكِ الَّتِي, and the ships, allati, which, tajri, jim raya, meaning sail or float, fil bahri, in the sea. Now this idea, this phenomena that the needle sinks and the ship sail, it's a miracle. It's amazing. Of course it is science, we know that, and it's a physical law and stuff, but who created this science? Who gave us this dispersion of volume, and how things will happen, and what kind of planks should be, and what kind of ships will sail, and how fast it will sail, on all these things? This is all because of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it is just does not only help us. In the next part of this ayat, we will see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also shows us that it has a purpose also, besides the beauty and besides the fun and all this, right? So this bima, with what? Yanfa'u nafa'a, with the benefit, the profit, an nasa, for the people. So this benefits us how? Because it helps us travel, it helps us with trade routes, it helps us with business. We are able to use and have easy access to the things that are growing in the other part of the world, or things that are made and manufactured in the other part of the world. The imports and exports have become easier. And it is amazing. If you've never seen the docks and the sizes on the weights of the containers, you should see how huge these things are, and how amazing and mind-blowing it is to think that they are traveling on the surface of the water. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made this phenomena, made this physical law for us, so we can predict and plan and invent things around it. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions, Wama, and what anzalallahu, nazal, nun zailam, sent down, Allahu, Allah, minas samai, from the sky. What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala send down from the sky? Min ma'in, of the water. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us water from the skies. And again, this might be just signs that, okay, the life on earth is because of water. And who gave us this water? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeps giving it to us. He's maintaining it. We are surviving because of the water, and who keeps giving us water, and who makes the water cycle, and who's managing all this? Still Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And how beautiful and perfect the rain is. It's not exactly the same every time. It's not just a copycat of everything, all the rains. It's sometimes less, sometimes more, sometimes lighter, sometimes heavier, and how each droplet comes separately. So this does not erode the earth immediately. It's not like a bucket of water is just thrown on us that, okay, it helps the life on earth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent it. Each, from the hadith we know that each droplet is brought to the earth with one angel. Each angel brings one droplet. So subhanallah, it is such a beautiful thing, and also serves a huge purpose. For whom? For human beings. So wama anzalallahu, and what has sent down Allah, minas samai, from the sky, bimma'in, from the water, then that's why ahya, hayaya, it gives life, bihi, with it, with the water, meaning al-arda, on the earth. It brings life to the earth. Any vegetation is not going to be possible if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had not brought water. This is not water drinking for us. It is also for the animals. It is also for the vegetation, growth of plants and trees, which gives us fruit and vegetables and all kinds of things. Ba'da mautiha, after its death, after the earth's death, meaning if there would be no water, it would be dead. And then what's next? Wabatha, bathasa, and of the dispersing. Bathasa means scattering or dispersing. Fiha, therein, min kulli, of kulli, kaf lam, lam, of every, da batin, dal ba, meaning any moving creature or any kind of animals, including all the critters and everything. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala dispersed all kinds of moving creatures. This is also, it just adds a lot of variety, beauty, and purpose. Everything. The animals are for us to be entertained. The animals are for us so we can use them as a vehicle, meaning to move around. They are for us for agriculture use. They are for us for food, like eating and their milk, etc. They are for us to take them to wars. They are for us to have them as pets. They are for us so we can look at their beauty, like peacocks, and there are many animals and birds that we see. They are for us to be amazed about, many sea animals we see, and they are for many purposes, and the whole ecosystem is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made, so the animals' life is also maintained because of this. And who is maintaining all this? First the variety, and then their life systems. Everything is being managed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they are there for serving the human beings. And then we will see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions وَتَصْرِيفِ الرِّيَاحِ. Tasrif, the root is Swad Rafa, which means a direct directing or the movement in riyah, rayaha, meaning the winds, was sahabi, seen haba, the clouds. The movements of the winds and the clouds. Al musakhari, seen khara, sakhar, meaning they are subjective, they're controlled. Baina samai, between the sky, wal ardi, and the earth. So this is also a huge sign. The wind and the gases in the atmosphere, they help us breathe, they help us with our growth, they help the animals. Also the plants, they require carbon dioxide, we require oxygen. It is all found in the atmosphere. It is so amazing how one thing that is a waste, the carbon dioxide, is the useful gas for the plants. And besides that, the wind helps in pollination, the wind helps in movement of the clouds as well. And who can imagine that if Allah had not made this, who could have thought that the clouds which are laden with water, they are being moved by the winds. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows us that these are the signs, these are the miracles. Why don't you see that? La, indeed, ayatin, these are the signs, hamza ya, li qawmi, for the people, for the nation. Yaqilun, those who have the aqal, ain, qaf, lam, those who can think, those who have any intellect. So you just need to be a regular person to be able to look around and see that, wow, I can find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in everything that is around me. And after telling us all these signs, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in ayat number 165 what people do, what we do after knowing that Allah is the only God, and we can see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in everything around us. We can see the power. And then what do? We make gods besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that is explained to us in ayat 165. Wa, and minan nasi, from among the nas people, man, who, yattakhizu, hamza khazal, who make or who take, min, from, dunillahi, besides Allah. What do they make or take? Andadan, noon dal dal, means equals, or somebody to call, nid. So they call others besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they make them equal to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yuhibbunahum, yuhibbu hababa, hub means love. They love whom? They love them, meaning the other deities, the creatures. Ka, as hubbillahi, they should love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. After seeing all these signs, what should happen? What should a thinking mind do? That I love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I want to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And instead of wanting to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what do people do? That they make other gods equal to Allah, and then they love them, they want to please them, they want validation from them, they want to make dua to them, they want those gods to fulfill their wishes. Allah uses the word love, so think about it. What do we do when we love someone? We want to please them, we want to spend more time with them, we want to care about their happiness, right? We want to get closer to them, we want them, right? So keeping these meanings of love in mind, think about how we spend time. Where do we spend more time? What do we want to achieve? Do we want to achieve the love of Allah, the closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or the higher promotion, higher status in the society, higher level in our jobs, more salary, more wages, and more popularity, more likes on the Insta and social media? What do we need more? What do we want more? What do we love to do? How do we spend more time? Netflix, binge watching, or just sitting on the phone for hours and hours and hours? We just keep thinking about things that make us more comfortable in this material world. Why can't we spend more time in getting the love of Allah, to get closer to Allah? How do we get that? Not just by sitting on the prayer mat, but by doing more tasbih, by making our hours used in volunteering somewhere, by making this world a better place, by even small steps. Anything that we can do to make any person's life easier, or think of how I can make any decision of my life according to what will Allah want me to do. even if it's the smallest decision, even if it is the biggest decision, how to earn money, how much to earn, where to spend, how to give charity, where else I can give charity, where else I can be helpful, where can I use my nafs, myself to help. How can I spend more time in cleaning the mosque? How can I spend more time in becoming a good role model for my kids? How can I make sure that I don't miss salah? How can I make sure that my kids see me reading Quran instead of seeing me just binging on Netflix? Right? So how can I not spend so much time in the mall? So where are we spending more time? What are we doing to achieve the love of Allah? Are we in love with this material world, or are we in love with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Do we keep thinking about what else do I need in my house to make my house more comfortable? Or do we think about what else do I need to add to my account so my grave is more comfortable? How do I earn more currency for my akhirah instead of earning more and more for this world? So this is a time to understand, realize, analyze, assess, what am I doing? Is this ayat applicable to me, or am I only thinking in terms of idols and, oh, I don't worship idols. I don't worship the sun. I do not worship any animal. I do not worship the angels. But am I doing the rest of the things that I'm not showing the love for Allah? And other examples of how Muslims associate partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to like shrines and making dua to the deceased, and that is also not allowed. So we can see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions wallazina, and those who amanu, those who believe, ashaddu, they are stronger, sheen dal hubbal lillah, in the love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the criteria that if your belief is strong, that will be shown from how much you love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That will, those people who believe in Allah, who understand that we only rely on Allah, who know that Allah is our only helper and we have to return to Him, they will be the ones you will find spending time in this life to get the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to get closer to Allah. Walau, and if yara lazina, rahamzaya, if they would see al-lazina, those who zalamu, those who wronged, those who did the zulm, is when yarawn al-azaba, rahamzaya, they will see the azab, the punishment. What will they see when they will see the punishment? When they will look at their punishment, they will see that every strength belongs to Allah. Annal quwwata, that indeed the quwwa, kafawya, the power, the authority, the strength, lillahi, belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jami'a, jim mim ain, every aspect of strength, authority belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Wa, and annallaha, that Allah shadidul azab, He is severe in punishment. Over here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us about the severity of punishment. In the start, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us about Him being Rahman and Rahim. So it shows that a person who is struggling in the way of Allah, he's always going to find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Rahman and Rahim, most merciful and repeatedly merciful. Any mistake, any problem that he will have, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will help him, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive him, and Allah will keep giving him chances as long as he's struggling to get the love of Allah, as long as he's getting closer to Allah. But if the attitude is not right, then what will happen? They will see that Allah was Allah was the authority actually. We were not the authority. We were just thinking that, oh, we can do everything on our own. We do not even have the strength of blinking of an eye if Allah does not help us to do that. We might think that I'm so smart, I'm so healthy, and I can do this, and I'm so intelligent. That's why I'm getting so many bonuses and so many things are happening. And we will realize as soon as we die that there was nothing in my own power, that even my eyes that were working, they could not work if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had not wanted them to work. Then ayat number 166 is when tabarra'a, bara hamza, So bara'a means to disown. When will disown? Allazina, those who attubi'u taba'ain, who were followed, they will disown whom? Min allazina taba'u, those who followed. So they will disown. The angels will say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we did not say anything like this. We just consider you our wali. These people are not our wali. So I mean, everything that they used to worship will disown them. From the hadith, we know the angels will also say this, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask Prophet Isa alayhi salam, did you tell them to worship you? And Isa alayhi salam will say, Ya Allah, I did not. How can I say something that I do not have the right to? And then all the other things, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of course Allah will know that they have not said them to worship them, but they will all disown the people who used to follow them. And so istabarra allazina tabi'u min allazina tabau. So when they will disown those that followed them, wara'ul azaba, and they will see the azab, the punishment. وأن تقطعت قاف طاء عين قطع, and will be cut off. بهم الأسباب, from them the asbab. Seen baba, meaning the links, the ties, the relations, because of all their worldly struggles, the efforts that they had put in the world. They had a huge network of very well-off friends who having great ties and getting everything done just with a phone call, because were very popular in the high society. They had such good ties, so much money in the bank, so much treasures that they were hoarding. Everything was working out so well, and now they will see all those things were so useless. All the ties will be cut off. Nothing, absolutely nothing will help them. So everything will be qata. It will be cut off. And then what will they say? It is explained to us in ayat 167. وَقَالَ الَّذِينَ, and said, allazina, those who attabahu taba'ain, those who followed, those who made other deities the gods. Law, only if, anna, that, lana, for us, karrata, kaf, rara, a return. Only if there was a return for us. What would he do? For then, na, we, tabarra'a, we will disown. This time, we will disown. Ya Allah, we understand that these were not the right things to do. We are going to disown them. Please give us one chance. This is mentioned many times in the Quran, that those, when they will see their punishment, they will say, please give us one chance and we will do exactly what you tell us to do, what the Quran tells us to do, and we'll follow the Prophet's Sunnah. So they will say, فَنَتَبَرَّأَ, so we will disown, minhum, from them, kama, just as, tabarra'u, bara hamza, just as they have disowned, minna, from us. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explains to us as if we can see, we can visualize, just like Allah explained all the signs in the universe as giving us the imagery. Allah tells us how this will happen, so we can imagine the scenes and maybe take lessons from this. Maybe take attention from now on that this is your calling. This is a reminder for you. Don't wait for that time to ask that, please give us one more chance. This is our chance. Right now is our chance. And then Allah says, Kazalika, tas yurihimullahu, rahamzaya, will show them, Allahu, Allah. What will Allah show them? Amalahum, amal, their deeds, hum, their, hasaratin, as regrets. They will see their actions as regrets. They will cry and they will say, why did we do that? We don't know how Allah will show us. Maybe it will be a video in front of us or some other way. But all the deeds will be shown, how we wasted our time in front of TV, hours and hours and hours. How we wasted our time in the malls, hours and hours and hours. How we just wasted our time in parties and fun and, spending wasting our time in just the kitchen just to please our families and to get their love, and to keep spending money and time and efforts in just upkeeping our house more and more and more. It's like a competition, whose house looks better, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will show them their amal, their deeds, hasaratin alayhim, as he regrets upon them, for them. They will regret seeing those scenes. وَمَا and not whom they بِخَارِجِينَ خَارَجِيم they will be able to kharaj, exit or come out مِنَ النَّارِ. Then that will be the last time they will not have the chance. This is our chance. When we are hearing these ayats and understanding, this is our chance that our ilah is the only ilah, and we should just spend all our efforts in pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the part of the ayat which explains that the deeds, the actions will be showed to them as regrets. This, according to the hadith, will happen many times at the time of death, in the time when he will be buried, and inside the grave, and on the day of judgment, and also when they will see their punishment, when they will be entered into their punishment. So this is a summary of various ahadith which show it at each time how the person who will not have not followed the Quran, the guidance, will be regretting their actions. When for example, when the person will be dying, there is a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that the angel of death will come in a very scary appearance, and a good soul, when they will be dying, the angel of death will come in a very beautiful appearance as a friend. And also the soul will be taken out in two different ways. According to the hadith, we know the soul of a good soul, the person, will be taken out as if the hair is taken out of soft butter, and the soul of a bad person will be taken out as if cotton is taken out from the thorns. It's stuck in the thorns and it's taken out. And also at the time of burial, the person will be scared, and that person can hear the footsteps of the people going, and seeing that he has nothing left except for his actions, which are not enough. For a bad person, the angels who will come and question him, he will have difficulty sitting up because the grave will be pushing and squeezing it. And then the question answer session will be very difficult for him. For the good soul, it will be the opposite. Then for the bad soul, the inside the grave, everyone will be shown the place that they will actually end up in the akhirah. And the bad soul will be scared throughout because of the window that will show him the place, the fire he can see, and he will feel the effects of the azab, the punishment in the grave as well. The good soul will be happy waiting for the akhirah to happen, because he will already be tasting, already be enjoying the breeze of Jannah. The window will show him what his potential place, what his final place will be. Other than that, we know from the ahadith that inside the grave, a good person who spent more time with Quran will have Quran with him. He will not feel alone. The Quran will be there with him as a good friend. Now, this is just an analogy to understand how we enjoy our time with a good friend, how relaxing it is, how much fun it is to spend time with a friend who you really love, truly love. And on the other hand, the bad person or the bad soul, or the person who will not have spent time with Quran, or would have spent time in actions that were not in line with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's command, the deeds will take a form of a very untidy, very bad smelling, very bad looking person who will be there throughout, and the person will not be able, the stench will be very difficult, the punishment will be very difficult throughout. And then another hadith shows the situation when they will both, all the people will be coming out, when the horn will be blown, and they will be coming out of the grave. So the person who would be happy with the deeds, who would be happy with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to give them, he will be running happily towards the ground of Hashar. But the person who will be carrying bad deeds, they will have a very bad smelling and very extremely heavy load on the back. So it will be very hard for him to move. And again, on the day of judgment, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be showing results, he's going to regret again, and he's going to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give them one more chance so they can go and disown the gods. They can go and do the right things, do the things in the right manner. Also, another hadith explains to us how every person will be shown both the things, that if you had not listened to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this would be your place, and this is your gift because you did everything according to the guidance given to you. So those people will be happy. On the other hand, the people who did not listen to the Prophet, who does not listen, who did not follow Quran, did not do the right things in this world, they will be shown also both the destinations, and they will be shown that this is what you've got, what you would have received if you had followed the direction. But because you did not like the guidance, you did not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being the only God, this is where you will end up. And this is where they will again regret their actions. This is when their amal will become a hasarat for them. After that, when they will be entered into their hellfire, they will regret again when they will look at the people they used to mock and they used to think that these are losers. When they will see how much honor Allah has given them, what is the status that they are given here. In the dunya, they did not have any status, and they used to make fun of them. They used to think that, oh, these are so simple people. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give them the darajat, the high levels, and they will wish that they could have stayed a very humble, very low, easy, simple life and following the Quran in that dunya, so they could have had those high darajat, high levels where it actually matters. They will look at them and they will wish that they had done the right amal, done the right actions in the dunya. And they will ask the angels inside the hellfire to lighten the azab for them, to give them at least one day of break. From the Quran also we learn that they will ask for food, or they will get thirsty and they will be given the pus of each other, the pus that will be in the hellfire, that will be given to them to drink, or it will be extremely hot, untidy, dirty water to drink, or it will be the liquids or the cactus to eat. So this is at every point we have ahadith showing that they will regret their actions. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us remember the akhirah, help us do the good deeds, so inshallah we do not have to go through this. May Allah protect us from the hellfire. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from all kinds of punishments, inshallah.